stop. I'm not stopping. I'm still working out. So, but as you can kind of see by the thing going up and down there, okay. But I have a vlog of concern to make regarding Tyron Jordan. If you know Oakland politics, you're aware of who Tyron is. Tyron, if memory serves, first ran for Oakland City Council District 3. Then he ran for at-large. Then he ran most recently for mayor. And then, prior to running for mayor, he ran for District 3. I think I have those, if I have that right. No, he ran for District 3 and then mayor. This last go, he ran for mayor. However, he is not removed. He also had his name up for 2026, the 2026 Oakland Mayoral election. Now, Barbara Lee also has her name listed as one of the candidates for the 2026 election because she's got to run for re-election. You know, she was just elected, as you know, because Sheng Tao was recalled. Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao was recalled. And so, but Tyron has this really bad habit. He doesn't remove his name from the ballot online after an election is over. And he'll keep his name up there even when he stops running, and then he gets upset when you say, hey, he's still running. Now, let me give you some contrast here. Lauren Taylor was at first, this is a few years ago, running for re-election in District 6, and then changed his mind to run for mayor, ostensibly against, what wound up being against Sheng Tao. For a time, he had his name in two places. He had his name as running for District 6 re-election, and he had his name as a candidate for mayor. But as it was brought up by more than one person, you cannot do both, okay? Or, so take your name down so that people don't think you're running. The bottom line is this: if you're not gonna run for something, have the city clerk take your name off the website. Right now, if you go to oaklandnewsonline.com, go over to the menu, go to where it reads Oakland Elections, it'll take you to the public next file page, scroll down to kind of a radial dial for, not a radial dial, but it's kind of a button for candidates for the 2026 election. You'll get these categories that come down for the different races that are open. Like, for example, mayor, which is way down at the bottom. And his name is right there. In fact, his name forms the thumbnail for this video. All right? For this video. This guy has the nerve to send me an email saying, look, I'm not running. And take your name down if you're not running. Because to me, it looks like he's doing what Larry Lionel Young used to do. Lionel Young is in real estate. He used to have his name out there. He would run, but he wouldn't talk about issues much, all right? Larry would talk about, well, some home he was interested in selling or something, of that nature. He was using the ability to run for mayor to get out his word about his involvement in selling real estate. That's not officially illegal, but it just looks bad. It looks like you, as a candidate, don't really care about the city to weigh in on issues or attend maybe more than one candidate's forum or something like that. It looks like you're using it to promote yourself. And in Tyron's case, he's using it, I contend, to promote himself because his name is out there, as if to say, I'm still involved in the community. But get this, folks, if Tyron wanted to, he could change his mind at any point and say, okay, I'm going to run for mayor. But the best way to support Barbara Lee is to not have your name next to hers on the candidates listing for the 2026 Oakland mayoral campaign. That's the best way to do it. So he needs to stop all of this, whining and crying and complaining and texting. I said, hey man, you have an issue. Come on my show. Let's talk about it, okay? All right? See, he's one of these folks there. If it was KTVU, he'd do it, right? Okay? So my point is, you have an issue, come on my show. Come on my show. All right? And I've said this to him more than once. There's some folks who look like me who have issues with other folks who look like me, who are in the business of making their own media companies, who have their own platform, who interview other people. How else to explain why there's so few black media outlets in the United States? I mean officially where you are designated as a corporation for the purpose of producing media and so on. That's what Zenny 62 Incorporated is. And we do online reputation management, which, since we do it for public officials and people in the media as well, among other clients, guess what? We're still in the media. We're helping people tell their stories in that case. And we're open about it. Why? Because other people do it and they don't tell the truth. We turn the whole thing around. Say, you know what? We don't want to know why. Because everybody has the right to tell their story. That includes you, Tyron, but I have the right to tell my story too when I see what you're doing and I say, hey, look, since Lauren Taylor had his name removed and others have had their name removed when they didn't want to be considered as a candidate, then that's what you should do. You should do too. That's simply the right thing to do. Stop coming at me. Stop trying to put comments on my video rather than coming on my show and talking about it, because I will take your comments down. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I want you to come on my show and talk. Okay? I'm not concerned with whether or not you don't. It's what I want. Especially since you're trying to use my platform to get your word out. Fine. Come on the show. But I'm going to report